We got some. We're going to switch it up a little bit, go from managerial accounting over to interpersonal communications. Just to give me a break from all the new shit for managerial accounting. I mean, still going to get into new shit, but not as new shit. This interpersonal communications class is like, I feel like sort of similar to my business communications class. I can't remember what I signed up for this one for. I don't know if it was like an elective just to get credits, or I think that's what it was. Yeah, I don't think this particularly pertains to the BBA. The managerial accounting definitely does, but anyway. All right, so interpersonal communications. Where do we leave off? Oh, yeah, we're reading chapter 1, the textbook, learning about interpersonal communication, communication needs. All right, identity. Communication is not only essential for us to thrive and live, it is also important to discover who we are. From a very young age, you were probably told a variety of characteristics about your personal appearance or your physical appearance and your personality. You might have been told that you're funny, smart, pretty, friendly, talented, or insightful. All of these comments probably came from someone else. For instance, Sally went to a store with no makeup and saw one of her close friends, Janice. Janice told Sally that she looked horrible with no makeup. Janice is a bitch. Fuck Janice. So from that day forward, Sally never walked out of the house without her cosmetics. Damn, that's sad as fuck. Dude. Dude, that's so shitty. Sally needs a man to remind her how beautiful she is. Sally needs some dick so she can be reminded that she can make her feel pretty. All right. Somebody get Sally's number, goddammit. All right. You can see. Okay, yeah. So she never walked out of the house without her cosmetics. Damn. Fucking Janice. You can see that this one moment affected Sally's behavior and Sally's perception about herself. Just one comment can influence how you think, act, and feel. Think about all the comments that you've been told in your life. Were they hurtful comments or helpful comments? Did they make you stronger or weaker? You are who you are based on what others have told you about yourself and how you responded to these comments. A product of my environment. Product of my environment. Hold on. Just double checking something quick. All right. Forgot to respond to that. There we go. All right. Wall. To do your product environment. In another contrasting example, Mark's parents told him that he wasn't very smart and that he would probably amount to nothing. Mark used these comments to make himself better. He studied harder and worked harder because he believed that he was more than his parents' comments. In this situation, you can see that comments help shape his identity differently in a positive manner. Social. Other than using words to identify who we are, we use communication to establish relationships. Relationships exist because of communication. Each time we talk to others, we are sharing a part of ourselves with others. We know that people who have strong relationships with others are due to the conversations that they have with others. Think about all the relationships that you are involved with and how communication differs in those relationships. If you stop talking to the people you care about, your relationships might suffer. The only way relationships can grow is when communication occurs between individuals. Joy Costin analyzed family communication patterns and communication competence. She found that people who grow up in more conversation-oriented families were also more likely to have better relationships than people who grow up in lower conversation-oriented families. Practical. Communication is a key ingredient in our lives. We need it to operate and do our daily tasks. Communication is the means of telling the barista that what coffee you prefer, informing your physician about what hurts, and advising others you might need help. We know that communication helps in the business setting. Catherine Kinnick and Sabrina Parton maintain that communication is important in workplace settings. They found that the ability to persuade effectively was very important. Females are evaluated more on their interpersonal skills than males, and males are evaluated more on their leadership skills than interpersonal skills. Overall, we know that to do well in the business setting, one must learn to be a competent communicator. We know that communication is not only crucial in professional settings, but in personal settings. Daniel Canary, Laura Stafford, and Beth Semick found that communication behaviors are essential in marriages because it adds the relationship features. In another study, Laura Stafford and Daniel Canary illustrated the importance of communication in dating relationships. Communication is needed for us to relate to others, build connections, and maintain our relationships. Key takeaways. Communication is the process of one person stimulating meaning in the mind of another through messages. It includes verbal, nonverbal, and mediated forms of interaction. Communication helps meet physical, identity, social, and practical needs. These include maintaining mental and physical health, shaping how we see ourselves, building relationships, and navigating everyday tasks. Studying communication gives us insight into a skill we use constantly but rarely examine. It helps us recognize areas for improvement and develop confidence through intentional learning and feedback. Our sense of identity is shaped through interactions with others. The comments, labels, and feedback we receive influence how we view ourselves and how we behave in response. Communication is essential in forming and maintaining relationships and achieving professional goals. Strong communication skills are linked to better family dynamics, romantic relationships, workplace success, and conflict resolution. For exercises, because 98% of Americans report having a cell phone, we are fairly dependent on them. Make a list of all the ways you use your phone during the day. How would your day change if you didn't have your cell phone? Yeah, dude, I take notes all the time. I have ideas and I type the notes. I use it for texting, calling, calendar, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Not so much of Facebook and Snapchat anymore. I don't know. Social media I'm not really on that much. That's what I use. Voice memos. Yeah, a lot of it's just like probably 90% of it's just for notes and voice memos for like the conglomerate, just like for business ideas, which I still need to type up right now. I've made a lot more the last few days and I need to get the typing it up. I just have some assignments and I've been focusing on that lately. Yeah, goddamn, I have so many notes though. I want to share those. I do want to share those with you guys, but I just need to organize a little bit. Think of an example for each communication need. What is the most important to you and why? I feel like connection, like social interaction, like it prevents you from being Tom Hanks in Castaway, where you're like talking to a bloody volleyball. Why do you think it's important to study communication? Is this class required of you? And do you think it should be a requirement for everyone? I think learning, yeah, like some communication class, like a communications class is something I feel like everyone should take. These are different though, because my business communications class that actually set you up with your resume, cover letter, and update it and everything like that, and give you a bunch of new tips and tricks, and so you could like update it, and like it was like you created a whole entire personal business portfolio. With this class, it might be different. Like it might be kind of like almost like it seems like a step below. It's weird. I mean, different though. Like this probably delves deeper into the personal relationships. That was kind of covering like business messages, correspondence, and everything like that, and then kind of it was more business oriented. And then this is more like just regular everyday social communication, which is, yeah, no, it's definitely important. Why do you think it's important to study communication, be able to understand others, empathize with others, being able to collaborate, compromise, negotiate, communicate, and just be able to get what you want and help other people get what they want, and just be able to trade, exchange things, goods, ideas, philosophies, ideologies, so on. Bodily fluids. Just kidding. I mean, it's true, but yeah. I'm joking. It should be part of my everything. Yeah, no, I just like take some sort of communication class. Like, it's good to know a class, probably leaning more towards the class, because I don't feel like people will take the initiative to do it themselves on their own. At least not for the most part. Some people may, but I think most won't, unless they feel a genuine need to. Basic principles of human communication. Learning objectives. 1, define the term communication. 2, identify the role of symbols in human communication. 3, describe the arbitrary nature of symbols and their shared meaning. 4, explain the difference between denotative and connotative meanings, and list and describe 7 basic principles of communication. Denotative and connotative meanings. Denotative, connotative meanings. The origin of the word communication can be traced back to the Latin word communico, which is translated to mean to join or unite, to connect, to participate in, or to share with all. This root word is the same one from which we get not only the word communicate, but also common, commune, communion, and community. Thus, we can define communication as a process by which we share ideas or information with other people. We commonly think of communication as talking, but it is much broader than just speech. Other characteristics of voice communicate messages, and we communicate as well with eyes, facial expressions, hand gestures, body position, and movement. Let us examine some basic principles about how we communicate with one another. Communication is symbolic. Have you ever noticed that when we hear or look at something like the word cat, and we immediately know what those 3 letters mean? From the moment you enter grade school, you are taught how to recognize sequences of letters that form words that help us understand the world. With these words, we can create sentences, paragraphs, and books like this one. The letters used to create the word cat and the word itself are what communication scholars call symbols. A symbol is a mark, object, or a sign that represents something else by association, resemblance, or convention. Let's think about one of the most important words commonly tossed around, love. The 4 letters that make the word LOVE are visual symbols that, when combined, form the word love, which is a symbol associated with intense regard or liking. For example, I can love chocolate. However, the same 4-letter word has other meanings attached to it as well. For example, love can represent a deeply intimate relationship or a romantic or sexual attachment. In the first case, we could love our parents or guardians and friends with the same symbol love. In figure 1.1, we see American Sign Language or ASL letters for the word love. Here, the hands themselves represent the symbols. Okay. For for English letters, which is an agreed upon convention of users of ASL to represent love. However, there are two more communicative symbols ASL users can use to say love that do not involve spelling out the words themselves. Here's a short YouTube video showing these other two symbols. Symbols can also be visual representations of ideas and concepts. For example, look at the various symbols in figure 1.1 of various social media icons. In this message, you see symbols for a range of different social media sites, including Facebook, lowercase f, Twitter, the bird, Snapchat, the ghost image, and many others. Admittedly, the icons for YouTube and Dig just use their names, but these images have become associated with the online platforms over many years. All right, I don't feel like reading out loud anymore. I'm gonna just do it on my own. Yo, what's up, dude? I did not actually. I threw away. I just threw away my coffee maker right here. I mean, it's sitting outside, but like I wouldn't want to use it just because like I feel like the bugs are hiding in it. You're outside? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be able to make one right now. I'm gonna try to supposed to be getting one sometime soon, but not right now. Are you trying to go to Starbucks? All right. All right. Sounds good. That's all right. I was thinking if I should go grab some Starbucks right now. No, I'm good. All right.